This video is sponsored by Zentai. Oh, Mr. Freeman.
Do you ever just wonder why Drayton from Delay in Block Productions looks like Call Me Carson? Oh crap, I'm recording. Hello, Foam Tods. This is the Winnipeg Rail Fan, and welcome to Engines of Northern Alberta Railways. Okay, enough funny. This is a serious series. Kind of. I don't know. This series was intended to come out sometime in 2019, but you know me, I procrastinate on videos, so it's pretty late. This series is based off the series that started it all, Amtrak Guy 365's Engines of Amtrak. I know there's other series, but they were based off that series, so I'm not crediting. Go away. Shut up. Anyways, this series will cover the locomotives in order of build dates, starting with the oldest and going to the more recent ones. I mean, none of them are recent. The newest ones were built like 45 years ago. Today's locomotive is the GMD GP9. But before we cover the locomotive, I'll briefly go over the history of the NAR. The Northern Alberta Railways, or NAR, was formed in a joint effort between CP and CN in 1928 after the government merged a few regional railways together, including the Edmonton, Dunvegan and British Columbia Railway, the Alberta and Great Western Railway, Central Canada Railway, and the Pembina Valley Railway. It was created to compete with other bigger railways in the area like the Grand Trunk, Canadian National, and of course Canadian Pacific. And I guess Pacific Great Eastern, or later BC Rail, as well. It operated with steam-powered locomotives until it was completely dieselized by October of 1960 with their order of GMD1s and GP9s. In 1981, CN bought CP's portion of the NAR, thus allowing them to run north to Hay River Northwest Territories and west to Dawson Creek, BC, unhindered by CP. NAR disappeared as a corporate entity soon after, and the locomotives were renumbered for CN, and all the units still in active service have been repainted. Okay, now on to the GP9. The General Motors Electromotive Division, or EMD GP9 series, like its sister GP7 model, would find enormous success and even eclipse the GP7 in terms of sales to become one of the most successful diesel locomotives ever built. Following the tremendous sales performance of the GP7, the series affectionately became known as Jeeps, which is a nickname given to the GP or general purpose locomotives by rail fans and crews alike. Until the release of the EMD GP7, EMD was lagging far behind the other locomotive builders, particularly the American Locomotive Company, or ALCO, and its early RS models. However, the model instantly propelled EMD as the industry leader of road switchers along with literally every other model type, and it only reaffirmed its dominance with the GP9. In just 5 years of production, the model amazingly sold more than 3,500 examples, including B units. The GP9 was built between January 1954 and August of 1963. It is powered by an EMD V16 turbocharged 567 series prime mover, an EMD D12 generator, and EMD D37B traction motors. Most units ride on Blomberg B trucks, but some units have or had flexi-coil trucks. It has a length of 56 feet 2 inches, or 17.12 meters, a width of 10 feet 3.5 inches, and a height of 15.5 feet, or 4.58 meters. It weighs 259,000 pounds, or 117,700 kilograms, and the locomotive can reach a top speed of 65 miles an hour, or 105 kilometers an hour. Now, the NAR ordered 10 and numbered them 201 to 210. Their GP9s had winterization hatches over a fan in the rear of the locomotive and did not have dynamic braking either. The locomotives were mostly equipped with Nathan M3H or K3L horns. Here are a few samples of each horn. The NAR had some nicknames for their diesel locomotives. In the case of the GP9, they were named after places along their lines. Here's the list for the GP9s. 201 was McLennan. I'm sorry if I butcher any of these names, but it'd be like that sometimes. 202 was Fairview. 203 was Dawson Creek. 204 was Westlock. 205 was High Prairie. 206 was Grand Prairie. 207 was Lac La Biche. I probably butchered that name. 208 never had a name since it was wrecked in 1959, which was before the names were applied. 209 was Slave Lake. And 210 was Barhead. NAR technically had 11 GP9s, as 208 was actually rebuilt a while after and renumbered to 211. And 211's nickname was actually Fort McMurray. You know, that town. As you know, the NAR doesn't exist now. So what did CN do to these units? Well, here's what happened to all of them. Since these episodes are really short and there's only like 3 of them, I'll do this for all 3 types of locomotives this railway roster. Before they were in CN paint as rebuilt GP9s or slugs, they were renumbered in the CN 4600 series with quick CN patches over the NAR lettering and numbering. 201 and 202 became CN 4602, 4603, and were rebuilt to CN slugs 253 and 254. 203 became CN 4604 and later slug 252. 204 became CN 4605 and later GP9 4132. 205 became CN 4606 and later slug 260. 206 became CN 4607 and later slug 261. 207 became CN 4608 and later GP9RM 4131. 208 was reduced to atoms, but came back as 211 and was later CN 4609 and rebuilt to CN slug 259. 209 became CN 4610 and later my favorite CN locomotive of all time, GP9 7221, which I miss dearly. And 210 became CN 4611 and later GP9RM 7225. 7225 was sold off and became IBCX 7225. All of these units are still on the active CN roster except for 7225, which was sold off, and is one of 3 remaining ex-NAR GP9s with most of the original shell, with the exception of the added parts during the rebuild at CN's Point St. Charles shops. Sadly, 7221 was retired and scrapped at CN's Symington Yard around September of 2018. At least a few rail fans in the Winnipeg area saw it before it was cut up. And most, if not all, of the slugs are still in active service on CN as well. But I'm not sure as for how much longer. A lot are in storage here at Winnipeg's Symington yards. Most likely they'll just go for scrap, but who knows for sure. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this short-ish episode of Engines of NAR. On the next episode, I will be discussing the GMD GMD1. This is the Winnipeg Railfan saying thanks for watching.